Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to ThePodocasts. That's right. That's right. You give it up. Our channel pivot continues, and man, I got to tell you, it is rough watching your work get cut in half. But over the long run, it's still my belief that it's the right thing to do, and we will hold on for dear life the crypto way. If you are enjoying the new format, please leave a comment below. If you would prefer, we go back to AMP-centric. Mention that as well. We aim to please. So FOMO season continues to show us that no matter how many times folks get burned, they will still put their hand in the fire. Every day, we see another token just moon compared to the rest of the market with no real fundamental change in the token itself. No news, no new tech, no revolutionary leap. Just a token going up and folks piling on. There is a formula to the fallout, and we will be discussing that today. Uncertainty continues to fuel a slightly bearish market. The uncertainty in this case is the fallout from the U.S. infrastructure bill that is just littered with new crypto taxes and rules and regulations. Now, what crypto has to do with infrastructure, anyone's guess, but from our dive into the legislation, it will not come out in your favor. The DEX is about to really become your friend when this gets mashed through. Talking about that today as well. And finally, Polymath and FETCH meet in the middle for the first time. These are two of my favorite tokens. Great tech, great ideas, and they have been kind enough to flip-flop their pumps so I could exponentially increase gains trading them back and forth. That seems to have come to an end as they were within half a cent of each other yesterday, actually during our live stream. What does this mean? Getting into that today as well. Getting into all of it right after this. Thank you. All right, so let's talk the FOMO season. If you are at all like me, you check the charts first thing in the morning, and as I get up stupid early, I get to see them before most folks in the Western Hemisphere. What have I seen day after day? Bad habits. If there is one thing we know about crypto, it's that it moves fast, up or down. It goes quickly. FOMO crypto goes really quickly. When the market goes slightly bearish, junkies are still hungry for those big gains, and they don't want to wait for the cream to rise to the top. Rationality starts to give way to traders' aggression, and whatever happens to be going up at the time, regardless of what it is, folks will pile on because, you know what, must be good. It's going up. Look at it. This is a pure lack of objectivity, and even disciplined traders get sucked into it from time to time. What has changed about Jasmy from yesterday to increase its market value by 40%? What have they brought to the market that is shiny and unique that is now worth 40% more? Nothing. It didn't change. But when something like Jasmy starts to move fast, there is a subset of crypto traders that assumes if it moves, there must be a reason, and they just don't see it. Got to get some money in, got to hurry. It's a bad habit. Chasing pumps might work out. It might. But the only way you profit from a liquidity pump is if someone else loses from the same pump. Now, for me, speaking only for myself, I cannot think of a more obvious way to turn investing into gambling, and it will inevitably lead to a death spiral of your capital. Once you lose a couple times, and you will, you are even more hungry for the next pump to get it back. Just got to get back to even, man. Once I get back to even, I will become more pragmatic in my investing. But you won't. Until you hit rock bottom, go bust, you will continue to chase the rush. Now, if you want to know how to really profit from a pump, do your research. Find the diamonds in the rough and be in them before they move. This is investing, and it's work. Your default position should be getting out a little bit early rather than getting in way too late. Please consider that. And a lot of this, the whole FOMO thing, it is fueled by uncertainty. What markets really like is stability, predictability. They like to know what their rules are, and when you are dealing with money, those rules are important. Right now, today, a lot of this uncertainty is being fueled from Washington, D.C. The infrastructure bill has stalled, and the vote is pushed out to the end of the month. Make no mistake, regardless of how the media is spinning it, some portion of this will be passed. It might be watered down a bit. Not quite the $3.5 trillion requested, but a massive chunk of money is going to be spent, and it must be sort of paid for, I guess. One of the ways to pay for this is crypto. Now, I find that hilarious because just a year ago, crypto didn't matter. It would never stick around. It was a fad. But today, it's a source of revenue that must be tapped. The crypto investor of today, it tends to be on the younger side, and they haven't really gotten to feel what a haircut is like or what it does to a market, but they're about to. Whether they pay attention to the news or are informed about impending legislation, the reality of it always sucks. And as money is being pulled out of a market, it is shared evenly across the board by everyone. For those who are technical analysis junkies, here's what you should be looking for. Take a look at the historical trends and what has happened in the crypto market to the crypto market anytime a major piece of U.S. legislation was in the works. If you want to predict the future, look at the past for this one. It's solid data. But until this all fleshes out, the uncertainty will remain, and the FOMO chasers will continue their ride to the bottom. And finally, FETCH and Polymath met in the middle yesterday. These two have been flip-flopping, and honestly, I've been loving every minute of it. I don't invest in patterns, but when you see one that is glaringly obvious, the pragmatist in me takes over and I move money. I have been moving a lot on Polymath and FETCH, but they settled down finally, and sadly, that gravy train has come to an end. Not the tokens themselves. They are both excellent and get the big thumbs up from the Podocasts, but they are not doing what they were doing, and it's time for discipline to take over again. For Polymath, we won't know exactly how this one shakes out for a couple more days. Mainnet comes online on the 13th, and I am expecting some upward movement. For FETCH, it's just a solid project that is slowly creeping its way into my long-term bag. Normally, I don't put single-use tokens into my long terms. I keep that bag filled with foundational tokens. But as FETCH is unique in the space, and as AI is, let's be real here, guys, it's still in its infancy, I feel like there is a lot of runway left on this one. All right, picks for the day. I'm going way out here. XYO, I think it might catch some post-pump rebound. I'm watching it close. Scale, still poised for some movement. It has been quiet for too long, and if Scale goes, Polygon's going to go with it. So keep an eye on those. Wild card today, I'm going to go with NKN, New Kind of Network. I still really dig what they are doing in the space, and the volume and the market cap puts it into the FOMO season sights. Consider it. So that's it for today, folks. The channel pivot continues. I hope that one works out. Live stream on Thursdays and member stream on Saturdays, both at 1900. Cheers.